Hello everyone, we're about to start our September theme talk. Slay the Narc, stay strong, keep on slaying. Become a Narc slayer. How we can become a Narc slayer? What are Narc traits? How many types of narcissism out there? And are you suffering from the torture of the Narc? Can you read the signs? We will talk about this all questions and it will be answered in this podcast one by one, and as a life coach myself and this self-coaching podcast, I'm voluntarily doing this podcast for more knowledge, more education, more awareness to help to give some tips, life hacks as a life coach with my own and self-coaching experience I'm sharing with you guys. So hope you can find some benefits and you can get some guidance. And if you need any more for the service, feel free to always contact me by PM, DM, phone, email, anything. All right. Everything is in the bio in my social media page. Joyful Abundance Happiness. Okay. So, about the narcissist. To begin with, well, let's get back to the history of the narcissist. Well, how does the narcissist start, from where, and until how long? For this information, according to the David M. Reyes, MD, a psychiatrist who has specialized in narcissism for over 30 years. He has stated in the NBCnews.com there was an article about about this topic and interview with him. He stated that Dr. Rees, narcissism has been around as long as humanity has been around and has been recognized for that long. Rees says, yes. Truthfully speaking, we are all narcissists in some ways. Everybody, we are all obsessed about how we look, how we talk, how we behave, how we want to be the best of the best, isn't it? The only difference is that we compete with ourselves and we don't cause no harm. Well, but let's peek back at the history. In the Greek mythology, the term itself comes from the story of Narcissus. Ooh, have you heard about that? The history dating back to at least 8 AD as to the formal diagnosis that arises from psychoanalytic thinking, starting with Freud, Dr. Freud, Sigmund Freud. I think everybody know about him, the neurologist specialist, but with different schools. Not neurologist, psychologist specialist, Dr. Sigmund Freud. I used to study his articles back when I was in teenage. I was very interested in psychology, and it was always hard for me to communicate, and I was always looking for life skills, but I could never find it in the school books, and I was dealing with a lot of life problems, and I just keep on looking for answers, and I couldn't get it in the math formula or science or social studies, so it is very important for us to have that skills so we could be really successful in our lives, so we could control ourselves better and always, maintain happiness, joyful abundance happiness. Okay, so the Greek mythology Narcissus, it started from the story of Narcissus in Greek, dating back to 880. So, starting with the Freud, but with different schools of psychology accepting slightly different understandings of the pathology personality disorder over ensuing years. So narcissism there is a healthy kind of narcissism, like everybody is, but it becomes really like a personality disorder when it goes to the extreme liking of oneself, like absorbed, obsessed, so much to the point that you have no concern from other people and you don't have empathy for other people. You just think about oneself. You don't think for anyone else. So yes, so we learned the history, and we learn how, since when it was started to be a personality disorder diagnosis, and we know that there are healthy kind of a narcissism in us, and 75 to 90% of men in the world, according to the research, are narcissistic. They have narc traits, but it's just depends upon the way I think the way everything is, like the responsibilities and their leadership, and how position. So that's why it is like it is. So narc traits. So what are narc